If you feel stuck despite having talent and ambition, the barrier isn't what you think. It's not a lack of opportunity or resources. The invisible wall stopping your progress is often a collection of subtle, accepted habits patterns of self-sabotage you don't even recognize. This isn't about major failures. It's about the quiet, daily choices that maintain the status quo and keep you from the success you're capable of. Introduction. The three faces of inertia. We often think of self-sabotage as dramatic acts of failure. But the real barrier is much quieter. It's the gap between your potential and your consistent action. It shows up in three core patterns that feel productive, but actually keep you stuck. These are the three faces of inertia: perfectionism, analysis paralysis, and the premature pivot. These aren't character flaws. They're protection mechanisms. Your mind uses them to shield you from the uncertainty and potential judgment that comes with putting your real work into the world. The common thread running through all three is a simple but costly mistake: mistaking preparation for actual progress. We get so good at getting ready that we never actually begin. The reason these patterns feel safe is because they let us live in the comfort of potential. We can tell ourselves, "I could do it if I just had more time, more information, or a better idea." But that potential is a trap. It costs real growth. So let's explore why these patterns feel so comfortable and how they secretly hold you back. The comfort of perfectionism. The first pattern is perfectionism, and it often masquerades as having high standards. You tell yourself you're just being thorough, that you care about quality. But there's a hidden cost: projects that never ship, ideas that never get tested, and work that never sees the light of day. Perfectionism creates the illusion of forward motion without any of the real risk. Think about the last time you kept tweaking something that was already functional. Changing the font one more time, rewriting an email that was already clear, refining a proposal that was good enough to send. That's the practical sign of perfectionism in action. It feels like progress, but it's actually a form of stalling. The underlying fear is the fear of judgment, being truly seen. If the work is never finished, it can never be criticized. It can never fall short. So you stay in the safe, controlled environment of making it better instead of the vulnerable, real world of sharing it. The shift you need to make is from asking, "Is this perfect?" to asking, "Is this useful?" Useful is good enough. Useful moves you forward. Perfect keeps you spinning in place. The trap is that perfectionism feels virtuous. It feels like you're doing the right thing, but it's a resistance to the machines of real creation. Nothing great was ever made in a vacuum of endless refinement. It was made by getting a version out there, getting feedback, and improving it. Perfectionism is the enemy of that process. It's the comfort of knowing you could be great, instead of the risk of finding out if you are. The trap of endless preparation. The second pattern is the trap of endless preparation, which is really just analysis paralysis in disguise. This is where constant learning becomes a form of procrastination. You mistake information gathering for decision making. You think that one more book, one more course, one more piece of data will finally bring you the certainty you need to begin. But here's the reality. Most significant decisions are made with incomplete information. There is no perfect moment when you'll know everything. The myth we tell ourselves is that more preparation will eliminate risk. But it only delays the inevitable moment of action. The practical sign of this trap is having all the tools, all the knowledge, but never actually starting the project. This pattern is seductive because it feels productive. Research feels like work. Learning feels like progress. But it's a form of hiding. It's the comfort of potential versus the risk of actual results. As long as you're preparing, your idea remains perfect in your mind. It hasn't been tested against the real world. It hasn't faced criticism or obstacles. The underlying discomfort is with making a choice and being wrong. It's safer to stay in the realm of possibilities than to commit to one path. But that safety comes at a tremendous cost: your progress. You become an expert in the theory of your field, but never actually practice it. The shift required is to recognize when you have enough information to take the next step, not every possible step. This pattern prevents you from ever experiencing the feedback loop that real action provides. You can't learn what you truly need to know until you try something. Preparation can teach you what to do, but only action can teach you how it works for you. The trap is that you're always getting ready to live your life, but you never actually start living it. The illusion of the fresh start. The third pattern is the illusion of the fresh start. This is the tendency to prematurely pivot when your current project hits the difficult, messy middle. A new idea appears, shiny and full of promise, and it feels so much more appealing than the grind of finishing what you started. Starting over feels productive here, taking action, but it actually resets your progress to zero. Look at your own projects. Do you have multiple half-finished initiatives with similar themes? A business idea you abandoned, a course you didn't complete, a creative pursuit you set aside. That's the practical sign of this pattern. The underlying discomfort is with sustained effort and the delayed gratification that comes with true mastery. It's easier to be excited by potential than to push through the plateau where real skill is built. This pattern prevents you from ever reaching the point of breakthrough. Mastery isn't born in the initial excitement. It's forged in the persistence required to push through the phase where things are no longer new and fun, but hard and uncertain. The difference between a strategic change and avoidance behavior is clarity. A strategic pivot is based on new information. A premature pivot is an emotional reaction to discomfort. The allure is that a new beginning carries none of the baggage of the current project. There are no accumulated challenges, no evidence of struggle. It's a clean slate, but that clean slate is an illusion. The same patterns that made the last project difficult will eventually appear in the new one, because the pattern isn't in the project, it's in you. Until you learn to move through the resistance, you'll keep restarting, but never arriving. The action framework. Movement creates clarity. So how do you break these cycles? The core principle is this: you cannot think your way into clarity. You can only act your way there. Movement creates the clarity you're waiting for. Waiting for motivation is a trap. You build momentum through consistent, small actions. Here is a simple, 3-step framework. First, adopt the 70% rule. Launch when your work is good enough, not flawless. Perfectionism demands 100%, which is a moving target you'll never hit. Good enough is a standard you can meet today. It allows you to get feedback and iterate, which is how real improvement happens. Second, set decision deadlines for your research phases. Give yourself a specific amount of time to gather information, and when that time is up, you make a decision and act. This prevents analysis paralysis from becoming a permanent state. The goal is to make a better-than-nothing decision, not the perfect one. Third, honor the finish line. Commit to completing one significant thing before allowing yourself to start another. This counters the premature pivot. The discipline of finishing builds resilience and proves to yourself that you can navigate the messy middle. It's a muscle that gets stronger with use. The counterintuitive truth is that action generates the insight we seek. You don't need all the answers to take the first step. You just need to take the step. The path reveals itself as you walk it. A simple metric to ask yourself each day: am I moving forward, or am I just preparing to move? Choose movement. Conclusion and call to action. The 3 patterns: perfectionism, endless preparation, and the fresh start illusional stem from mistaking preparation for progress. The way out is to shift from waiting for clarity to taking action that creates it. Your invitation this week is simple. Choose one of these patterns to notice in your own behavior. Then, commit to one small action that breaks the cycle. If it's perfectionism, ship something at 70%. If it's analysis paralysis, Set a 30-minute timer for research and then decide. If it's the fresh start illusion, recommit to finishing one thing you've put aside. The goal isn't massive change overnight. It's to prove to yourself that movement is possible. Which pattern resonates most with you right now? Let me know in the comments.